All right, we're back again. Yesterday was Sunday, so took the day off. We ran up to Springfield, took the kids to the aquarium, the Bass Pro Aquarium, which is always a fun time. And when we got back, I went and got the old John Deere pulled over here. We've got about 35-ish, 40 acres of hay down, which isn't that big a deal. The bigger issue is some of it's here and some of it is 16 miles away. So the plan of the day is to get this raked up and baled here at the house. I gotta contact the mechanic because hopefully we're gonna get this baler adjusted today and get it making heavier bales, because 620 pounds is what we got. If you go watch our short video that we did, we got 620 pound bale with this baler. This makes a 4x4, so 620 pounds out of a 4x4, pretty impressive if you ask me. Most people's, this is going to start arguments because it already has. Most people's 4x5s are 750 pounds. There's a video I reposted on TikTok yesterday, I think it was, day before. There's a guy in southern Texas, and he was talking about his 4x5s. They weighed 733 pounds. On a dry bale, unless you've got your baler cranked all the way down, you're putting a bunch of stress on your baler, you're not going to get 900 to 1,000. Now, I did on that little Vermeer that I got. I cranked it down. I mean, we're gonna make hay, and I'd also, if I was doing it for myself, I'd make a 4x5.5, and those were weighing closer to 1250 all the way up to 1,400 pounds. So anyways, plan of the moment is to run up here just down the road, get that raked and baled as soon as we can, with it adjusted or not, because I don't think Bo's gonna be able to meet until this afternoon based on what he said, because my stack yard for that field is just literally right across the fence. So if I gotta make a few more trips, it's not the end of the world. The hay 16 miles away, that's for some friends from church, and doing that for them, we want those bales as heavy as we can get them. So we're hoping that by the time we're done baling this, Bo can meet us maybe while we're finishing this, get the baler adjusted here at our place, and then move down the road. So the hard part is always, when you're that scattered, is transporting equipment. So I'm trying to figure out, do I want to leave the baler hooked up to the tractor and road it 16 miles? Or do I want to unhook the baler, load the tractor on the trailer it over there, and then come back and get the baler? Same with the rake tractor, because, well, I need it. Or do I want to just rake, haul one tractor over there and rake and bale with one tractor? I don't know. I'm still figuring that out. Whatever. So that's the... Oh, and I gotta put a new wheel on the rake. We had a wheel. It started coming apart, and when I say wheel, I'm talking about the rake wheel. Yes, good morning, Goose. Rake wheel. We had a wheel start coming apart. It actually started a couple years ago. The teeth were getting really loose. The clamps that were holding it were getting loose, and so we went around and tightened a bunch of clamps, put some new teeth on it. But that one wheel on the right hand side of that wheel rake, for whatever reason, really likes to wear. And especially when you're going around corners, and if you're raking around trees and whatnot, you're making a bunch of corners. So I don't know, not great for that kind of work, but what are you gonna do? I did climb up in, we're going over here to look at the calves. I did climb up in the stuffer yesterday evening when I was doing chores, and it looked like there was about a ton of feed left. Oh, there's that hole in the hose. looked like to me there's about a ton of feed left in that feeder, which is putting them right on track for eating roughly 1,500 pounds a day, like we thought they would. So that's good. Pretty much spot on there. Since the tractor was here, I did get the barn scraped. So you can see, a lot cleaner and nicer. Look at some of those calves. This white one is one of Chloe's. Where'd it go? That she bought. That one's one of Chloe's. She's actually a little bit older, but we're trying to keep everything to fall calving, so she's actually going to be a little bit older when she gets bred this fall, but that's okay. Chloe's got another one in here too somewhere, but I don't see her right now. And then that spotted steer is her and her mother's project. That's the one we practice. Oop, where'd it go? We practice bull riding on that little spotted steer. He's an alright character. It's like halter broke. You can put a halter on him, drag him into the makeshift bucking chute, and throw a rope on him, and it's good practice. Alright, so their water's filling. Looks like they need a bale of hay. It's already hot. Next week, we're supposed to get some rain. Well, this week, Wednesday and Thursday, it looks like. And then after that, the high is in the 80s for the foreseeable future, which is going to be super nice. Because like the other day, the feel like temp was, I think, 100, 101. So it's been super hot, super dry. Still a lot of moisture in the ground. Grass is still growing, but it is starting to get a little crispy on top. Like if you look at where it's been mowed, you see it's kind of brown. Yeah, it's definitely getting a little on the summery look around here. So, we looked at the calves, we talked about we scraped the barn. Since we scraped the barn, we need to wash the tractor. See a lot of people not wash the tractor after they, you know, scrape a barn or clean an outdoor lot or something like that. And manure is very bad for metal and paint and all that good stuff. So I parked it over here. I was gonna wash it last night, but my big bulb is burnt out. It was really dark over here. So I was like, you know what? It's gonna suck, but it'll have to wait till the morning. So it needs to be washed anyways. It's got tons of hay dust and seed and everything built up on it. So the poor Deutz needs to be washed. But yeah, you gotta come. You gotta wash this. That's just nasty. And if you're wondering, yes, I just use the bucket to scrape with right now. I have, it's wearing the bucket out, obviously, because it's on concrete. I don't scrape it that often, because it usually doesn't make that big of a mess. That's probably the dirtiest the barn's ever been. I do have these tracks over here. I got some from a friend of mine from church. He had some old tracks sitting there one day. I was over there. I was like, hey, you don't want rid of these, do you? And he was like, yeah, sure. So I got some tracks from him. And then not long after that, another friend of mine, he's like, hey, I've got 2 broken tracks. You wouldn't want them, would you? And I was like, actually, yeah, because they're already busted. So at some point, I plan on building a scraper out of those because it won't tear up the concrete so bad and I won't be wearing out my bucket. It's just a matter of finding time. Those have been sitting there for a while. It's on the to-do list. I was kind of thinking that last winter, that would be my last winter's project, and then it just didn't happen. So maybe it'll be this winter's project, or maybe one day in August when it's 1,000 degrees outside, throw it in the shop and start working on it then. But definitely need to get something built because I don't know, I just don't like wearing out the bucket if I can help it. Part of life. But so yeah, gotta get the tractor washed, gotta get that unloaded, get the rake hooked up, get the new wheel put on, get everything fueled up. Probably need to grease the baler, put 172 bales through it, so it got used for a while, so I should probably grease it. It's got auto lube on the chains, so I don't have to worry about oiling the chains or anything like that, which that's nice, but probably should grease it. So I was feeding the feeder heifers over there in that video. I will say this is working well, like I wanted it to. So they've got their starter ration in the gravity feeder, the stuffer. And since they're in this weird transition period of where we need to get them onto grain now, I can come in here and start. Normally what I do is I feather it on top in the bunk of whatever starter I'm feeding. But since they have that, it's already in their system and everything like that, I can just come in here and put a little bit of this grower feed in the bunks, and they can come up here and they can kind of nibble on that. You are a stinky goat. That's Josh's billy goat. They can start eating that grower feed, and then, you know, go back and eat their ration that they want. So that seems to be working quite well. I started this 2 days ago, started just giving them a little bit, and that will probably be all the way gone. Today's Monday morning. By Tuesday morning, I bet that's all the way gone. I probably should have started this grower feed the day I got that filled, because I'd like them to have a week of transitioning. But this stuff is pretty safe. You know, it's not very hot. It's not very, it's not gonna tear their gut up. So they'll be fine. And I only run them on about 5 pounds to start with, get them used to it. And then once they're established, I usually do 2-week increments. Do 5 pounds, then I'll go up to 7, then I'll go up to 10, and then I kind of sit and go, okay, I'll look at the cattle. We weigh them in between all this, kind of see where everybody's at, and take them to 12 if we need to. You can go even higher than that if you need to, but usually 10 to 12 is where we stop. And I don't want them getting super fleshy. We want them putting on muscle, not just getting blubbery, fat, and fleshy. So got to just kind of look at what you're working with and go from there.